Lancaster City Council meeting. City Clerk?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Hughes Leslie.
Present.
Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Do the roll call for the Housing Authority.
Housing Authority Member Harvey, absent. Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Chairman Zeto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And the invocation tonight is, it says Chris Johnson, but I don't see Chris.
It's right there. All right.
There he is.
For giving away the bikes today and for your care and concern for our young people in our community. It's appreciated. Let me pray. Lord, we just thank you so much for this city. Thank you for this city council, for the city staff that's here. We pray your blessing on each one of them individually. And Lord, we just pray that you would direct and lead through this meeting. God, this is your city, and we're grateful for the privilege of living here, of being a community together. And Lord, we pray that you would do more than we could ever ask or imagine. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Bless you all.
Thank you, Chris.
Sure. Please remain standing. Place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you.
Tonight, we're recognizing Fire Station 33, and we have a presentation for them. Fire Station 33 is the busiest fire station in the county. It is truly unbelievable the number of calls they answer in any given day. And for that, we have a presentation, right?
Yes, and mine will be short. I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Hutchison, sorry. I was mixed them word. To come and talk about the details and why his guys aren't here, because guess what they're doing? They're out working. So with that, I'll bring him up and have him say a few words about his group. We do have certificates. The mayor wanted to recognize them for their work that they do. I think as many people and in the public service, our guys are out there regularly, late at night, early morning, protecting us and serving us when we're asleep in our beds. And these guys are a perfect example of that. Guys and gals are a perfect example of that. So come on up, Chief.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, the community, thank you for this opportunity. Just wanted to give you a brief little history lesson with the County of Los Angeles Fire Department. This year we celebrated 100 years of service. Which is a large feat for any local government fire department. So even with that, the city of Lancaster had its first 20-man fire brigade in 1932. In 1935, they built the first Fire Station 33 off of Cedar, which is now a preschool. And the current location of Fire Station 33 is right here off a date, and it currently houses 42 personnel. That's Engine 33, Engine 233, Squad 33, and Quint 33 with one chief officer. Yes, it is unfortunate that they're not here. Actually, right at 4:05, they had a structure fire, and since then, they've cleared the structure fire and they've continued to run on calls. So our apologies, but their duty is to the community of Lancaster. I would like to say that every person at that station, every man, woman, and person that's worked there does it voluntarily, meaning we have a bid process where you can choose to work at any one of the 172 firehouses in the county of Los Angeles, and those 42 members choose to work right here in Lancaster. In 2016 and 2017, we did not have an engine company 233. And at that time, engine 33 ranked number 2 in the nation of engine companies. They ran over 8,000 calls a year. Truck company, which is the hook and ladder, they were number 2 in the nation in calls for truck companies. And currently this year, for 2023, engine 33, which is a paramedic engine, has ran 6,944 calls this year. Engine 233, which is a paramedic assessment engine, has ran 6,253 calls this year. Squad 33, which runs with 2 firefighter paramedics, has ran 7,250 calls this year. And the hook and ladder has ran 2,139 for a total of 22,600 calls for service in the city of Lancaster. That's on an average of 19 calls a day. These firefighters work 24-hour shifts. They don't go home. They make a bed, they eat meals together, they watch TV together when they're in the station. As a matter of fact, we were expecting to visit from the mayor. Actually, it worked out that you were not there, because as soon as they made their plates, they left. It would have just been you and I sitting there having lunch because they were all gone. I actually have a picture on my cell phone that I sent to a friend, and I said, table for one. So I do appreciate the recognition. I will tell you that that is makes me the proudest, is that none of these men and women do this for accolades, medals, or appreciation. They do it because they love to serve. So I want to thank you all for the recognition.
You sure you just didn't tell them I was coming? So they. So do we have, how?
Well, I have them all, and we don't have any of them. So they're out running around.
Oh, but there might be an opportunity to do a picture with the mayor and the council and get that for the group.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I can have this is the jurisdictional battalion chief. He actually went and showered real quick right after the fire. So Jeremy Montgomery could come on up here also. Let me just take one out.
Hi. More what? Yeah, we're very busy, very busy. You have no idea. And one more, one for me. Can I have one for me, Mayor? That's okay, that's okay. Very nice. One more. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you guys for everything you guys do.
Thank you.
And for the shower. Thank you.
Thank you. Housing Authority, I'm going to recuse myself. You're just going to turn it over? I'm just turning it over? Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Satan.
All right, thank you, Mayor Paris. Are there any items on the Housing Authority consent calendar we need to pull for discussion? Speaker cards, do we have any?
No speaker cards.
All right. Is there a motion and a second to approve the Housing Authority consent calendar?
I'll move HACC 1.
I'll second that motion.
Can we take a vote? Oh, we can vote. Ah. All right, and it passes unanimously. On the joint consent calendar, any items to be removed or any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
All right. I'll move to approve.
I'll move
Oh, you'll move?
JC 1, 1, 2, and 1 and 2.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
Let's vote. And that passes unanimously. The next one, we need to,
We now need the city council to approve the JCC items. So, Mr. Mayor, if you can seek a motion and second on behalf of the joint consent calendar items, that would be appropriate now.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, with GP, the housing.
joint public hearing?
Okay. Council members Mann and Molly need to recuse themselves because of a property interest.
Okay.
Right, so council members, Mann, Molly, and Mayor Paris each have property ownerships in the proximity to JPH
too?
1. Yes, you too. Mayor Paris and Councilmember Mann, you did not win the rule of necessity selection on this item. Councilmember Molly did, and so Councilmember Molly remains under the rule of necessity, and Mayor Paris and Councilmember Mann, you will need to step from the dais.
And you stated the reason for.
The reason is because of your ownership of properties
Okay,
proximate to
because
the
obviously we
location.
need to do that publicly. Okay.
I've been thrown out of better places.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing.
Are there any speakers? No? No speakers?
No speaker cards.
All right. Want to wait staff report?
You need to open the public hearing.
Oh, I thought you did that, sorry. I'm going
I
to
opened it for the city. You need to open it for them.
Got it. Opening the public hearing for JPH 1. Close the public hearing.
We'll close the public hearing for the city.
And we'll close the public hearing for the Housing Authority. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve JPH 1.
I second that.
Do we vote first?
Go ahead and do the Housing Authority first, then we can do the city next.
Okay, let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Vice Mayor Chris?
With Councilmember Mann recused.
And with
And-
the city will adopt resolution 23-69.
I second that.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously.
With Councilmember Mann and Mayor Paris recused.
Yes, please. Okay, I think you guys should make that more difficult next time.
I'm going to add some more complexity next time, just because you're getting too good at it.
Okay.
All right, turning the meeting back to you, Mayor Paris.
Thank you. Do you want to sit through the rest of the meeting, or do you want to take off? Totally up to you. Thank you. Okay. The consent calendar, anything to be removed?
We have no speaker cards.
Anything to be removed?
Nothing to be removed.
Okay. I mean,
Motion to approve the consent calendar is currently comprised.
is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. It's a big consent calendar.
We're on page 10 of the script.
Okay. The public hearing is now open on PH1. It's an amendment to the city's community development block grant. Any speaker cards?
We have no speaker cards.
Want to waive staff report?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed.
Motion to approve PH 1, A, B, C.
Second that?
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Moving on to PH item 2, the public hearing is now open. We'll hear the staff report from Jocelyn Swain. Magic.
Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, and council members. Before you tonight is general plan amendment and zone change for 160 acres south of Avenue H between 50th Street West and 55th Street West. The general plan amendment and zone change are necessary to support the development of BYD's newest facility. BYD has proposed to develop 30 acres of the 160-acre site with a 630,000 square foot electric school bus manufacturing facility. The construction of this facility has been awarded a $30 million grant from the California Energy Commission. At full build-out, the facility will produce 4,000 electric school buses per year and provide 650 new jobs. 100 of these jobs would be office jobs and 550 would be manufacturing. These jobs are in addition to the 750 jobs currently provided by BYD's existing facilities. And these are just some elevations of what the facility will look like. And fencing. The general plan amendment would change the existing land use designation for the 160 acres from non-urban to light industrial. And the zone change would change the zoning of the 160 acres from RR 2.5, or rural residential minimum lot size 2.5 acres, to light industrial. Staff is recommending that the City Council adopt the resolution approving general plan amendment 17-007 and zone change 17-006. The applicant, engineer, and I are available to answer any questions.
Thank you.
I will note for the record, we have received written comments on this item that should be in front of you and are also in the back of the room for the public's knowledge.
Well, we have one card, right?
These letters.
We've received written comments, too, that are in front of you.
Thank you. Lance Bro? Yes. Ruff? Okay. Come on up.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members, my name is Lance Bruff. I live across the street from this proposed facility going up. I have quite a few concerns. Oh, hey, that's my clicker. No. Can I borrow it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, my house is the one to the top right corner of that green square. One of my main concerns is if this facility is going to be a lithium-ion battery bus facility. So if there's any kind of fires, I don't know. I've seen the videos of the lithium batteries going up in flames. With the wind, the way that it blows, I would be downwind of everything coming from that facility, whether it be the spray paint booths, any kind of fire, fumes, anything from that facility. We're going to be just downwind from everything on that facility. And during construction, dust, when the facility's open, if it's open, all the traffic, the diesel from deliveries of those chassis. But yeah, some of my other concerns are water runoff, because we are on well water. All of us over there, all my neighbors, they're all on well water. So that's, one of our main concerns is contamination of that the well water. Whether if there's a fire or any kind of runoff from paint supplies, et cetera. Let's see. And then another concern is, where's the main driveway going to be adjacent to our property? I don't want to be concerned about traffic lights shining through our front windows in the mornings or in the evenings when they close or whatnot. Let's see. From what I understand is that there's going to be about 3,000 miles of traffic going in and out of that facility, which is a concern for noise and also pollution. There's going to be a lot more foot traffic, so security is a concern.
Mr. Brough, I think you've got a point.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a significant point. The traffic alone is going to be significant.
I mean, one of the big reasons we moved out there was just to be away from traffic, to be away from everybody, to be frank, and that's the place to do it, right there in the middle of nowhere,
Well, I mean, let's look at it the way that, let's just look at it the way it is. There's over 1,100 jobs are being generated by that facility. 1,100 jobs, and they're union jobs, meaning they're higher paying jobs than you would normally expect from that type of plant. But at the same time, you do have property rights, and it is going to disrupt your life. Have you thought of a solution?
I'd be open to speaking with anybody at BYD in regards to that. I am open. I haven't heard anything from anybody. I did send an email to Swain, but I haven't received anything.
We will fix that now.
How big is your current property?
It's 2.5 acres.
And is it your property is your home in the middle of it, or?
It's in the front. It's right on Avenue H.
I want a meeting with BYD and Mr. Brough and with a decision maker, and I would like the city to facilitate it. And let's see if we can come to some type of accommodation.
Change his zoning, make it into a restaurant, a perfect place for a restaurant.
Want to be a restaurant?
I like the way he thinks. So me and my wife were just talking about that. She's a great cook. We could just set up some trucks out there and just
We're pretty innovative, and
some ADUs there just in case they want to crash.
let's turn this into an opportunity.
Absolutely. There's just concerns that I have,
I think they're real concerns. If that was me, I'd be screaming.
I think of all the things that could happen, and when it rains there, those, the embankments just fill up with water. That whole area just kind of floods, and just, it's going to soak into our water tables. And I've been at automotive paint shops and I've seen what's on the floor and I've seen I just don't want to drink it.
You really should go see BYD because it is a different experience.
Is it? Okay. I've never been over there.
You could eat off those floors. I mean, it's surprising to me just how well organized that place is and how well run it is. But nonetheless, I wouldn't want those cars driving by my house every day. So let's get that meeting going and let's
get a little taste of it, like when the fair's going on or like 4th of July. We get all that, or poppy fields, we get that traffic and it's only those certain times. So I can only imagine what it would be like all the time. It would just be crazy.
Let's make it so Mr. Brough is happy this happened. Okay. Fair enough?
Thank you.
I think we could do that, by the way.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Is that the only?
Close.
Let's close the public hearing. Any discussion? But before we, you don't see a problem with this, do you?
No, I think there's opportunity in every, especially with somebody that seems open to finding solutions. We can always find a solution.
Okay, good. I just want to make certain that that doesn't get lost. All right, good. Thank you. All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve PH2 and adopt Resolution 23-74 and Ordinance 1110.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. Mr. Bruff, if you could stay in contact with me, Brittany will give you how to do that. Wherever she is.
on that card as well.
Okay.
Or
I
if
wanna-
you need some work done at your house.
I got a business card, I can give it to you directly, yeah.
I just want to make certain that it doesn't get lost and that you're happy when it's over.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Did you want a business card?
Brittany will, okay. Okay, NB1,
PH3.
oh, PH3. Okay, PH3, public hearing is now open. Do we have any cards?
We do not have cards, but the letters that we received did indicate PH3 and 2.
Okay,
Correct.
so
We
let's
have
hear
written
the-
comments on PH3 as well.
Jocelyn, we liked you so much the first time.
That's good. I do. Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, and City Council members. Before you tonight is a general plan amendment and zone change for 45 acres on the west side of Sierra Highway between Avenue H and Avenue H8. The general plan amendment and zone change are necessary to support the development of the project site with a two-phased, 100% affordable rental community. The proposed project consists of a total of 499 residential units in a 100% affordable, private, gated rental housing community. These units would provide 499 units of the 9,023 units designated as the city's regional allocation, or approximately 5.5%. Phase 1 consists of 196 units with a primary residence and accessory dwelling unit on individual lots with off-street parking. This phase also includes the construction of a 40-lot parking lot to provide additional parking for Mariposa Park. Phase 2 consists of 303 bungalow-style units dedicated to providing affordable housing for seniors. Both phases would provide open space, paseos throughout the community, parks, community centers with pools. The following slides provide elevations of the buildings on site. Recreational building. The general plan amendment would change the designation of the site from a mix of open space and MR1, or multi-residential, to all MR1. And the zone change would change the zoning on the site from a mix of park and moderate density residential to all moderate density residential. This zoning would allow for a density of 7 to 15 units to the acre, and at build-out, the proposed project would have a density of 11.1 units to the acre. Staff is recommending that the City Council adopt the resolution approving General Plan Amendment 23-001 and Zone Change 23-001. The applicant and I are both available for questions.
What does totally affordable mean specifically?
So in this particular case, the affordability is between 30 and 80% AMI. So the average median income of LA County between $36,000 and $100,000 per year, depending on the number of people in the unit.
So employed people.
Employed people.
Good, thank you. Let's close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
I'll move PH 3, adopt resolution 23-75, and introduce ordinance 1111.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. New business item 1. We'll hear a staff report from Chief Armelin and Sonia Patterson, the Director of Parks. So Sonia, are we ever going to learn to spell parks correctly?
No, sir.
Well, we do things differently in Lancaster, don't we?
The right way, sir. We're doing the right way. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. The items before you this evening are an update to Lancaster Municipal Code as it relates to protection of critical infrastructure and public and open spaces. Last month, staff provided an update on the cleanup and beautification efforts, and with your direction and support, have further evaluated issues and potential impacts to our infrastructure as it relates to fire, flood, and other potential causes of destruction and damage. Destruction and damage to, or interferences often cause, destruction and damage or interference to our infrastructure is often caused by persons whose activities are not permitted or authorized in a particular area. These proposed ordinances are to mitigate the threat of these issues in order to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public by authorizing and giving us the ability to remove persons from some of these areas. This is commonly perpetrated or caused by homeless invading areas, but I want you to know these are not just about removing people or affecting the homeless. It's about the protection of our ability to serve our public, and it's also about the protection of those individuals who sometimes put themselves in harm's way. And it's also about the protection of our firefighters, our first responders, who are quite often forced to go down and rescue those individuals. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Sonia so she can talk about the second ordinance.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. I'll be speaking on the proposed amendments to Chapter 12.04, Parks and Public Places Rules and Regulations. The parks and facilities have seen a robust increase in community use and rentals, as well as an amplified request for special events and festivals held in our public facilities. In addition, the city has seen, unfortunately, a rise in unauthorized use, vandalism, and crime in our parks and public spaces. In evaluating these current issues, staff has identified amendments to the Lancaster Municipal Code 12.04 that will strengthen the safety and security at our public places. In order to maintain the safety and security in these spaces, certain activities are not permitted or authorized in, on, or near parks and public places. This includes the destruction and damage to city park and public places, as well as the interference of delivery of services, which are often caused by persons conducting activities that are not permitted or authorized in said locations. Many times these activities threaten the health, safety, and welfare of our public who are using the parks and facilities for the health and wellness. Furthermore, the updates identify the enforcement officer, which provides city staff, our public safety department, and law enforcement the ability and tools to hold those violating our rules and regulations accountable, and if necessary, remove them from the facility. So in closing, staff recommends that council take actions on the items and resolutions outlined in the staff report, and of course, the chief and I are available for questions.
Thank you.
Before you all
No
vote,
speaker
I'm
cards.
sorry, excuse me.
No speaker cards? I'm sorry.
Before you guys vote, I forgot to mention before they started that with the staff report, there was an attachment that needed to be made known. It's on the back table. It has the red line for the changes in the actual code. So you do have one up on the dais for your view, and there's also one on the back for the public's view.
It's a markup showing the changes from the old code to the new.
Yeah, yes.
Good, thank you. This is going to assist us in getting the transients off our streets, right? Is that the purpose?
That'll definitely help us keep them out of areas that can cause some serious issues for us. Absolutely.
Good, thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve NB1, introducing ordinance number 1112, and introduce ordinance 1113.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. NB2, any speaker cards?
None.
You want to waive reading?
Yes.
We'll waive the reading. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve NB2, 1, 2, and 3.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Passes unanimously. Council agenda. This is just really to announce that all the commissioners will be getting a letter thanking them for their service and their whatever we do. And with the goal of it is that anybody that would like to reapply to either the commission they're on or to another commission, they can do so with just their name and the commission if you've already been vetted and you've already been appointed. If you haven't been appointed or vetted, then you need to fill out the application, which is online. And then the first week of January, I'll nominate and we'll vote on all the positions, okay? Council reports, any council reports?
We did have an opportunity to go to the entire council went to the sheriff's Christmas party where the mayor dressed up as Liberace.
That's where he got that jacket.
It is.
Half these people don't know who Liberace is.
But they all laughed.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. The mayor, myself, Ken, Lauren, all participated in purchasing either a car for the sheriffs, a week stay in Hawaii by Mr. Mann, and John Smith gave a week stay at the Mexican Riviera as door prizes for the Lancaster Sheriff Station and for the city of Lancaster, telling them that we truly appreciate what they do. They are truly the busiest station in LA County. They have their request for service is at $160,000, 160,000 calls. Am I right, Paul?
Yes, that's correct, sir. 160,000 last year.
So a busy station in LA County is usually 20,000. That'll give you an idea of how many calls for service this station is doing, and they are doing their best. So we are with them on what they do. We're trying to get the county to relook at their policies as far as overtime, carping, and their other policies. So until then, the entire council stands with the deputies. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, I do. I don't know if we got any film footage on the Christmas parade. I think that was, you could see the Christmas parade that both the mayor and I attended, along with Chief. I think it was reflective and it was a precursor to our Christmas on the Boulevard, because it was probably the biggest parade I've ever seen. And then spilling over to this last weekend with, I think Parks did an outstanding job. That's probably one of the best events I've ever attended. And you could tell the number of people out on the street.
So which one was Santa Claus? That was good work.
Yes.
So was that Rod driving that sheriff car?
No, he was riding in the back of the meat wagon.
So, anybody catch Isabella being thrown up in the air and missing that sign by this much? I'm talking to you, Sonia.
No, sir, I did not catch it, but I heard about it, and we are addressing it for future parades.
It was scary, it really was. Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Mayor. So MetroLink met for the last board meeting of the year. In addition to that, myself, Chief of Security from MetroLink, the captain from the Metro Bureau, and then some of staff from the city of Lancaster met to further discuss our concern with safety. So I just want to report that we continue to move in the right direction. And then, of course, Councilman Mann already mentioned it, but the Magical Boulevard was just smashing. We had such a great time. Yeah, let's give it up for the Boulevard. Thank you guys for what you do. We had such a great time. I could feel the spirit and the energy out there, so thank you again.
We do have a video for the Magical Boulevard if you want us to show it.
Good. So let's party.
What is the warm message you want to give to all the viewers watching right now that need to be here in the next 30 minutes?
In the next 30 minutes, if you want to celebrate your city and be part of your city, this is the place. You will never find this street so full of as much love as you'll find it tonight. It's just fabulous, isn't it?
How does it feel to see so much growth over the years in Magical Boulevard?
Let me tell you, we've done this for at least 14 years that I know of, but tonight, this has got to be the biggest crowd. I have never seen it like this. So that tells you that things are great.
Oh, it just warms my heart. Like you said, I feel like all of Lancaster is out here, and As one kind community member said, you did a good job, Lauren, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So I appreciate the honest feedback. Please come out, critique me, give me some good new dance moves out here. I'm open for the good feedback.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir. Another last video. As you recall, we requested us to begin the senior walk, getting the seniors engaged and out there, get their moving their bodies. Sonia's done a wonderful job in her team in getting that program up and running. We have a short video on that success. So we encourage everybody to participate. It's at Prime Desert Woodlands on Wednesdays, and it's a fantastic opportunity to enjoy that part of the world or that part of the city.
The Mover and Shakers Club, is that our brand?
Yes, it is.
Good. So that's the group that what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people Ken's age to move. And look how well it works. I mean, he's even getting black hair again.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew, right?
You know, some evening, we're going to bring driver's license, and we're going to take pictures of them, and then we're going to put them up on that screen so that we can make sure that both you and Marvin finally ante up and tell the truth about who's the oldest.
You are.
Yeah, right, right.
But is that really the test? I mean, shouldn't the test be like how many push-ups you could do?
Or bike riding like 60 miles in a day?
That sounds like a challenge.
That's not a test. That's not a proper test.
Push-ups.
Let's do the push-ups.
So, the purpose of this club is to get our seniors moving. And those who join it and are moving, we got all kinds of benefits coming in. Like we're going to be doing trips sponsored by the city and other people that donate money, and Marvin's AVTA, I think you got them engaged, don't you? Oh, you haven't told them yet, have you?
I haven't. Martin, are we in? Yes.
You see it? And I think the first trip they're taking is they'll be going to the Reagan Library. And we got them to cut their prices, and, you know, it's affordable is what I'm saying. But not anybody can go. You gotta be one of the seniors that are in some type of program of moving. You just gotta move. Just gotta get off the couch, you know. It arose out of the pickleball teams. If you haven't been playing pickleball, you're really missing it. I mean, that's something I could even play.
Does Ken play it?
Well, Ken couldn't play it, but. Marvin, do you really want to go there?
Anytime you guys want to get on the bike and ride 60 miles in a day, I'm ready, guys.
But anyway, it's a new thing we're developing. If anybody's interested, they should contact Parks. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Okay, that's the announcements. City Manager?
A couple announcements. Justice Sunday is approaching rapidly. I don't know if, Sean, you want to maybe touch on Justice Sunday? Okay. There'll be Justice Sunday will be the event very similar to what we did last year. There'll be a festival on the street, merged and matched with the presentation by our local high schools. They have done a phenomenal job every year. I think this year is going to be even better. They've got more participation. I think people are seeing the values of that, and we're just looking forward to that on Sunday, January 14th. Festival, finishing with the show at LPAC. It's going to be a fantastic time. Lancaster Community Center still open in enrollment in a diverse range of programs, so come out and join the program. Moa Cedars' latest expedition is sensory perception, so Moa Cedars a museum. And then, of course, LPAC has wrapped up the half of their season already, if you can imagine that. The second half is coming. Make sure you get your tickets. They're selling fast. And shout out to Parks again with their team and everything they're doing. We have a new employee you may want to announce, Sonia, if you would like to call her out.
Yes, thank you, Jason. We have a new assistant director. Her name is Victoria Reyna. She is the assistant director over arts and community services. I think she's here. She's in the back of the room. Have her stand and wave. So she's a great addition to our team, and it's day 2, so we're happy to have her.
Good. That's it? Before we go on, I want you to play that video. Be geared up. You know, one way to be a city council in a city is to talk about all the good stuff and never mention the bad stuff, right? Or to compare ourselves to other cities and then look at the metrics and just, you know, where do we sit amongst the rating of the various cities based upon what we're measuring. But that's not how we do it. The only way we're going to solve community problems is to be transparent about them, to share them, to figure out community solutions. I recognize, and it breaks my heart to recognize it, but it is true. The women in most of our cities in California are not safe, especially in Los Angeles County, where we have a DA who refuses to enforce the laws that are there. You know, he's got his own plan, his own view of what's acceptable and what's not. To me and to my colleagues on the council and the staff, attacking a woman is beyond the pale, regardless of who you are and doing the attack. And when two people attack one woman who's doing her job at a convenience store, that is, you know, we would all be up in arms and we'd be out trying to catch these people with all we had if they had been killed. What's the difference? Except somebody died when it's a murder. When you see the video that I'm going to show you, recognize that that happened in our city, in a store, and the perpetrators of it have not been apprehended. And if it was a one-time event, I would say, you know, it's hard keeping society together. But it's getting to the point where it is common. In fact, even the people feeding the transients are being attacked by the transients they're feeding. It's endless how this I can't come up with a word that's appropriate from this dais. But after you see it, understand what we're going to do. Most stores have videos. or CTTV. They capture the video. We're going to start playing that video, and we're going to start making it available. We'll have a page for the moments of shame, I guess is what we should call them. And yeah, that's going to make it very easy for people who don't really agree with how we run the city to come out and say, see what a bad job they're doing. I would suggest to you that it's not us doing the bad job. It's the county that refuses to prosecute these people. To deal with this, I'm asking the council at the next meeting to request, this is the procedures, I've been researching it. Great thing about being a lawyer, you can do your own research, figure it out, But in order for us to prosecute these crimes, the district attorney of Los Angeles has to approve our city attorney to do that. We're asking for that approval. I don't expect to get it. If we don't get it, then I'll be appealing to the Attorney General, who we have a very good relationship with, to get that authority. But it's going to take all of us. I mean, it's going to take all of us. There's no way the sheriff's department or the police department can do this by themselves. We have to identify these people. I will personally do $1,000 each to catch these people. If they're arrested and convicted, whoever turns them in gets it. Let's play it. Imagine the horror if you were that woman. Imagine it. I spent a month and a half in the hospital when I was in law school from a similar incident, and it affects me, I guess, personally when I see that. Any of you have any suggestions as to how we can put a stop to this? Whatever it takes to put a stop to this. We're interested. We're all ears. The chief is on board now. We're making a lot of changes. But every one of those stores is going to have cameras like that. And we'll have a page on the website that if you want to see moments of shame, we can see it. Mostly why I'm doing it is I want to identify these people and have them arrested. No one should go to work having to worry about something like that occurring. It happens on our buses. It happens, and the way for us not to take any heat for it is to just not talk about it, just not show it to you, just act like it doesn't go on. We're not going to do that. It is going on, and we can solve it as a community, or we can live under its cloud. But it will be determined by all of us. It is not something we can just fix for you.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes?
Over here. I just feel like I need to add, because that was such a despicable act, and Paul and I were looking at it and disgusted by it. I just want everybody to know that the only thing this young woman did was advise them that because they were trying to use gift cards, they would have to bring one in, go out, pump the gas, and then come in and bring the other one. And they were upset because she couldn't load both of them at the same time. And that's the reason that they behaved like that. That was all she did.
I think we all want it to stop, but we're all going to have to do something different if we do. And it really is going to be up to us as a community because the resources are not there. They're just not there. On any given day, the sheriff's department is 40 to 50% undermanned. Imagine running your businesses with half the people that you need to run it not showing up. It's not that they're not showing up, it's that they're not there. They haven't been hired by the county. Sorry to end the meeting on such a downer, but if we don't start looking at it and we don't start getting creative, I don't see anything other than it getting worse. Fair enough? Good. Sean, did you want to talk about SNAP?
I just wanted to let everyone know that we did start reaching out to the students to be on the committee. There's nothing new to share today. This is the same stats from our previous presentation. This is just what it looks like on paper. And we've got students signing up. And for the jingle competition, we're going to use MOA.
Do they have one for the people to see?
No. This is...
Sorry, folks.
Sorry. This is, the students are seeing these. These are the flyers for the students to sign up for the steering committee we talked about. Everything on this paper was already presented in the last public meeting that we had.
Okay. How's the jingle coming?
Going good. The students are going to be able to use the state-of-the-art studio that we have to create it. We're looking to get some radio partners in to work with the students. Like I said, it's now a sound engineering project for students at Eastside High School. So this is going to be fun. I can't wait.
Thanks. City Clerk?
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back of the table of the council chambers. If you have completed a speaker card, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so that you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits the City Council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
The first speaker card is Thomas D., and I can't read your last name. He's coming.
Okay, good evening, City Council. My name is Minister Thomas D. Filippi Sr. I happen to know Mr. Paris from the church, Lancaster City Baptist Church. I belong to that church also. And I remember Marvin for some of the transportation meetings I used to attend. I just want to say there's a lot of issues. It moves me emotionally to want to discuss a lot of things that I see going on also. I can tell you real quick, as a young man, I used to be an Olympic weightlifter. I even was a bodyguard. I did a lot of stuff like that over the years. Not that now. I'm disabled and I've got a lot of injuries and things like that. But whenever I seen somebody beating up a person and it was enough, I would step in and be able to do something. I was a wrestler. I played judo. I did boxing. I sparred with karate people in the old days. I did a lot of stuff. I'm not that person today. I'm a different person. I got beat up at your bus stop a few years ago, and my wife got hit too by a character like that. But I'll tell you what, I was able to not be that person from the old days, and I did turn the cheek, okay? I did turn the cheek. And I never went looking for these people. I never went to the bus stop to retaliate with weapons or any of that stuff on your city buses. But this here, this file that I have on these people that live across the street from me, I've been terrorizing my house for 5 years. I don't even want to fight and argue with them no more. Turning. But the homeowner association, Invitation Homes, doesn't want to be responsible for that place. They keep moving in more and more people that are not on a lease, and it seems like these people become more confrontational. Lewd acts of sex outside my building on the other side of the fence, making noise with cars, racing them up and down the street, you know, all kinds of stuff. But it's in the file. All the log reports, everything that shows the homeowner that owns that place, Invitation Homes, should be fined fairly, just faith, by all the trouble calls to the Sheriff's Department that we waste taxpayer dollars to come out here and continue to talk to them. Over a 5-year period, I've called your offices several times. Nobody seems to know what to do. I sent emails to you, Marvin, everybody Have I gone back over there with a baseball bat, a gun? They threatened me with guns after they started a fire on the 4th of July with illegal fireworks. They came at my house, started the house on fire across from me. If I wouldn't have put 2 hoses together, that man's house would have been burnt down. So we want to know what the city intends to do with Invitation Homes. That's all I got for you, because I don't want to waste your time.
With what homes?
Invitation Homes. They rent and lease to this property over here, 752 East Avenue, H14. It got quiet for a couple of weeks because I was in small claims court a few weeks ago. Wasn't favored. I didn't come home and get upset with anybody. The girl that lives there that has mental illness threw cigarettes all over my property when I got it in my car to see that, to throw it in my face that I wasn't favored in small claims court. The God I serve is watching everything, brother. And you know what? I'm sure he's going to deal with that place. But what could the city do about Invitation Homes? Thank you for your time.
Stay there. Let's figure it out right now.
Address again?
752 East Avenue, H14. I didn't go to great lengths to build a file. This is just some of the stuff over 5 years. It's just some stuff.
Allison, what can we do?
I'll need to dig into the facts and find out the facts behind it, but if there's a nuisance condition going on, then we can take action in that regard. If there's, unlawful activity, we can work with the sheriff's department and our police. It really depends on the facts, and I don't have enough to answer that with more precision right now.
If they're renting the property,
They should have a rental business license, and we can look at that as well.
and if they're operating the premises as a nuisance, or their tenant is operating it as a nuisance, and it has a certain number of calls for service,
Yep.
can we yank the business license?
We can, I will look at all of those things.
And I want you to look at having a commission that sits and hears those cases and yanks those licenses. I mean, if we have to quit talking about it and start doing it. I mean, we just have to collectively decide as a city, not in our city, take it someplace else. I mean, there's nothing I can do anywhere else, but here, there's things we can do. Put it together, and I'd like it by the first of the year, so that these folks actually have a remedy. What you're describing is a situation that escalates. It escalates into violence, and somebody doesn't come home, or when they do come home, it's not like who they were.
Yeah. And in conclusion, I know I have my 3 minutes, but in conclusion, the end of October, there was a car fire right across the street from my house, and it kind of brought a flashback to me as the car puffed. There wasn't a lot of gas in it because the guy who they put in there didn't have a lot of money probably, so it was probably a few gallons at the most in the car, but it went poof, and those sparks and things fly towards my house. I can't allow that to happen to my house, sir. I invested in a Lancaster, I want to keep that house. My wife don't want to move, but, eventually I might have to go to a community where a senior person could live in peace, and just maybe rent it out or sell it. I don't know, but right now, we got to do something.
You're absolutely right. It's with a different DA, there'd be different options, but currently there's not. We're going to have to make our own. I don't want to let another 6 months go by where we have.
Did you want to leave that information with the attorney?
Curtis Richards?
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Curtis Richards. I'm from West Lancaster. In September of 2022, my neighbor got 2 dogs. These dogs were left outside in the cold all night long to bark and disturb my 5-month-old daughter, myself, and my wife. Since then, I've worked with Rod Armelon for the past year to have something done about this. The city has failed immensely on this. They have fined her one time in July after I had a meeting with them. I've contacted Catherine Barger's office. The neighbor's uncooperative. There's now dog feces that have continuously piled up in her backyard that I can smell in my backyard. I feel like the city hasn't done anything, and I have no help to get this resolved.
So what would you like the city to do?
Continue to fine her. There's nothing
Can we
preventing
do
her from
that,
doing it.
Allison?
If nuisance conditions exist, yes.
So why aren't we?
Well, I don't know the specific case, but I know how Chief and his team operate. If there's verifiable violations, we cite, especially when we have homeowners that are involved. And I don't know the specific case. Maybe Chief can talk to it.
All right, review it, see if there's something we can do.
It's become unverifiable for them because there's nobody working at 12:30 at night, 3 a.m. when these dogs are barking. You guys don't have an enforcement officer out there.
Listen, I have events at my house and the same thing occurs. You know, the neighbor's dog is just, remember the last one? It was just on and on and on and on. You know, there's limits to what government can do. Really are. Barking dogs is probably, especially in light of the fact that we have things like you saw in that video going on constantly. Where do we prioritize? Obviously, we're going to prioritize where people are getting hurt. Do I wish people would take care of their own property and their own things and behave a little bit responsibly? I do. But my neighbor won't shut up his dogs. And if the mayor can't do something about it.
Yeah, do you have the small dog feces in your backyard because they let three large dogs' excrement pile up?
You know, that's a different crime.
And the health department won't help us with that either because there's block walls and they can't see it. So
Health department is not going to, I mean, it's LA County Health Department.
Yeah.
I spoke with Mr. Richards earlier today. We communicate fairly often, and I became aware of the feces issues today. He sent me pictures, and I'm in agreement with him. We're going out tomorrow.
Good.
It's a problem
Good.
there.
You might have to do a DNA on the, never mind.
Okay. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Vincent Midgley?
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, City Council members. I'm here to speak with, my name is Vincent Midgley. I'm a resident of Lancaster. I'm also a soccer coach of over 30 years. I work strictly NPO. So in the case of the organization that I represent, Lancaster United Soccer Organization, who has been a member organization in this community for decades, a founding member of literally the entire soccer culture that we enjoy today here in the Valley. So the concerns that I bring to you today are several-fold, mainly dealing with issues with field use, fair use of the field, specifically at the Lancaster National Soccer Park, field conditions, the safety of those conditions, the safety of those fields, and the safety of, well, we can go into the detail if you'd like me to with the administration. And then more importantly, the blatant retaliation that has been executed against both our organization as well as representative members of partner organizations throughout the Valley that may not be nonprofit, but that have been, for all intents and purposes, either driven off the fields through bans or in other ways, basically being told that their business is not necessary. So I come to you for sort of a prayer for assistance in facilitating a solution that is twofold. I would like to make the recommendation that we, as a city, hire a proper professional greenskeeper who can understand the concerns of such a large soccer park and how to actually maintain those field conditions. Keep in mind, I have 30 years experience. I'm not volunteering myself, but I know when it's done right and I know when it's done wrong. I've coached all around the world. I've coached all the way up.
Can you be more specific as to the problem?
Yeah, okay, so a few months ago, I had a kid. Typically with soccer, we have leg breakers all over the fields. The lighting is inappropriate for the current field layout, so there are several areas on one of the sides of the Lancaster Soccer Park that are unlit in the evenings, for instance. And our club specifically is relegated to those fields, and we have been for about 6 months straight. So for my team, which is a competitive team, an internationally competitive team, and I apologize, I'm running out of time here, but we essentially don't even have the lighting to be able to work it. So with those leg breakers, those, you know how the grass tends to clump up, kids trip over. Just 2 months ago, I had one kid trip over it and he broke his arm in 4 places. Okay, this is in the evening. Now, mind you, unfortunately, this kid has grown up in our program, so we didn't take on any liability with that. That's fortunate for us, but and we didn't take it to the city, so it's a risk. Okay, so I apologize. The timer's going here. Okay, so and then more importantly, so the conditions are definitely dire. We can talk about them more in detail. I'm happy to do that with you, sir. But then more importantly, the field use. We're constantly relegated to the worst fields possible. And more importantly, when we do try to establish an open dialogue, we are avoided, which is to say that we are directly avoided. We don't have time for you. And then we are penalized with new and additional regulations. And I'd love to be able to present some of those because I think you'll find the ludicrous nature associated with those regulations. And when it comes to training, to be sort of comical. So maybe a little levity there. But in the end, I would propose that we hire a proper greenskeeper to understand how to rotate fields, how to move them around properly. It's not hard, but it is something that is a real profession. I recommend that we do that in the Parks and Recreation Department. And then the second thing is I would pray for your assistance in intervening and helping us with establish an open dialogue where we can speak honestly about the rules that are imposed upon us in this gigantic rules pamphlet that has grown over the years, and now we just got a new one a few weeks ago. I apologize, I didn't print it out before.
You know how we are. Once we start writing rules,
Yeah. So it's big, and it's a lot, and it's prohibitive, okay? Things like you can't, so sir, when you learn an exercise, you do it a few times, so you get good at it, right? Is that reasonable? I have a rule right now that says that I can't do repetitive exercise training. I cannot repeat exercises on a Lancaster soccer field. Period. It's banned. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever as a professional soccer coach.
I get it. Sonia?
So we just like to open a dialogue and be able to contribute to these rules and all that.
Wait, Sonia, I would like to inspect those fields sometime this week, so if you could arrange with Brittany my schedule, but I want to see exactly what he's talking about. Don't show me the good fields, show me the bad fields.
May I also recommend that you do it in the twilight, perhaps maybe between 5 and 6, so you can actually see how the lighting is distributed throughout the fields and how dangerous it is that I'm literally training 12-year-olds in the dark.
Okay. You know, there's a lot of competition out there for those fields. I think Parks has, I don't know how they deal with any of it, because it gets really angry at times with people. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't have a procedure in place that people feel is at least fair based upon the policies that we've enacted. I would like to review those policies with the council to make certain that we're in agreement that that is how we want them handled. But the primary thing we should be looking at right now is we now have a complaint the fields are unsafe. If they're unsafe, I want it fixed, and I want it fixed immediately. So let's do that inspection this week, okay?
Thank you, sir.
The rest of it, you know, this has been ongoing for 15 years. And new parties come in and out, and everybody wants more of it, the action than they're getting. Let's look at the procedures.
So, sir, we're not asking for more. Truth and honesty, we're not asking for more. We're asking for a fair shake and an opportunity at being able to use the fields that are lit in appropriate times and being able to use serviceable fields. That's all we're asking.
You fix the procedures, the rest takes care of itself, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And if somebody's not following the procedures, that's easy. You know, you just call Parks and say, hey, you know, what's going on? Anybody else have another solution? Work for you? Okay, that's what we'll do.
I thank you for your consideration,
It's going to take
sir.
some time.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fran? You've waited patiently. Thank you.
Good.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, staff, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Sarasaris, and I want to start off my conversation with you is to thank you. I have been working with the Cedartown Square residents, and we had a meeting a long time ago, and I'm not as powerful as you are, obviously. And when we had our meeting, my part as trying to get something done was limited. So I mentioned it at the meeting that they should come and talk to you, which they did. They came here to the council. And I want to commend you for what you've done. And I want to commend our chief, because the things are getting done. But like I told him, I said, go ahead.
He actually gets things done, right?
No, I know. I said, you know, we can't do anything for ourselves by ourselves. I said, well, let's talk to the mayor. If anything's going to get done, he'll get it done. And I want to thank you because the gates are being taken care of. And I'm not sure about, there's other things that are happening up there, but I'll talk to the chief about as far as the residents that live there. But I just want to commend you and thank you very much. It's been a long time coming. I used to live in that building years ago, and it used to be beautiful, but now it's kind of not so good. I also, what else was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Well, okay. I want to bring this up because I got this email, and it says, your Heroes Park neighbors have invited you to join next door. Does the city of Lancaster have anything to do with this? I did not answer it. I make a copy just to bring.
Sounds like a scam.
No, hold on.
It's an app.
Nextdoor is an app for neighborhoods to communicate and engage, very similar to Netflix or Netflix.
Facebook, it's like Facebook,
and
but it's
Instagram.
neighborhood-based.
I see.
So that's not really a viable situation, and I just thought, well, that's
Stay
why I
off that
brought.
social media, Fran.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't get involved too much
in
in social media because I don't like it, and it's a bunch of hooey to me. But I thought I'd bring it just to clarify it and clear it in my mind that it is a scam. And I'm sorry I'm late. I went on a senior trip today, and Access was late in picking me up from Palmdale Senior Center. Because, as you know, I get involved with all the senior
Okay,
centers.
you can go to Palmdale.
Yeah, because, you know, I get involved with all of them. And anyway,
We're getting along now. It's
that
okay.
is so good to hear, yes. And that makes my heart feel good. And I appreciate all of you. I keep saying it, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. But also, again, right now that you brought up about having senior trips, I was going to bring it up, probably speak to you about it on our own, but because you know I have a group, Riders on the Move, and that's what I do. I have a group.
Are you feeling the competition?
Well, I don't know. That's what I want to talk to you. Maybe we could collaborate and make it. I started off before COVID, and I started off with about 15 members. Now it's up to about 35, and it's growing.
You know, Kin Man, it was his fault. He said,
Mr. Man.
I'm sure there's
Fran, if you want some additional help, we would be more than happy to help.
Because I think if we can collaborate, we can get a lot more done, because we need it. And
we'll have a pickleball playoff.
yeah, okay. All right. I think I have a lot. I'm sorry. I wanted to get into some of the conversation that was on the agenda today, but I got here too late. But thank you again. And if you need me, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran. David Paul.
Mr. Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council, good evening and Merry Christmas to you all, everyone here. It is a wonderful time, and I, too, Mayor, like this event the most in the City Council calendar. Christmas is always fun in Lancaster. You know, I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I came here 25 years ago driving from Chicago with my 6-week-old baby in the car to take a job with one eye at a time. I had to close one eye to get the road to focus. I didn't know what was wrong. When I got here, I was diagnosed with MS, and nothing exacerbates that more than stress. And I try and avoid stress and fight this thing as best I can. The way the doctor told me, the mix of compassion and pity on his face just told me, dude, you're screwed. And I felt that, and it is not like this other gentleman came up talking about getting older. I used to be a pretty rough man and a good judge of who's a rough man, and that was my business. And I have to tell you, today I experienced something, an indignity, an insult that I never thought I would face. I was at Coffee for Vets at Crazy Autos this morning, and for some reason, Juan Blanco, who I thought was my friend, invited a candidate for mayor that's more from Palmdale and comes into these veterans groups and ingratiates himself. It's really sad and sickening. Talking about running for mayor, he's filed papers, he's raising money, he's doing all these things that he's not allowed to do, making claims. But at one meeting, I stood up and I said that, first of all, I don't think this guy knows anything about Lancaster. And then I said, I've never seen him in a single city council meeting. And so he sent in a couple of big guys, took offense at that, and they were allowed to talk about how I had talked badly about their guy. And it was just surreal to me. So this is what I said about Mark Maldonado. I said that I don't think that he knew anything about our city. And I was wrong. He's more of a fool than I thought because he knows very little about anything. I gave him the time and my courtesy to meet him at a Hispanic Chamber event where he wanted to seat me in a corner after inviting veterans, and gave him the time that he wouldn't take when I offered it to him before to talk about how we could get along during this election cycle. And basically what he told me when we talked privately was he knows what's going on, he knows where all the corruption is. So I will be pressing him in the future for where all this corruption is. But, you know, it's just sad that it's got to come to this, and I'm not in the shape I used to be. I can barely walk. But I just want you to know, sir, that if a guy comes at me like that, I'm going to fight him, and we'll see. So Merry Christmas to y'all. I love this city. I love participating. And I know we have barking dogs and all these crime problems, and those two people in that video beating that woman were women. We know that, right? Okay, that's what I think. And just for the fire, forgive me, sir, I don't know your title, but my kids grew up driving through Lancaster, and whenever we see your hook and ladders, the 33, the 33, that's what we yell out. So you've been a part of our life forever since I've been here. Thank you for that. Thank you to everybody. We're going to fix this thing. We're going to strong mayor charter the city. We're going to merge with Kern County and North LA County, get rid of these things and have a strong mayor system where we can take over the schools and the things. So that's what I think we should do. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Why would you run for mayor if you don't want to deal with stress?
Thank you.
Give you a lot of practice dealing with stress, right?
Yeah.
Works that way. I think we're done, right? You all good? Before we conclude tonight's meeting, I would like to take a moment to honor the memories of two esteemed members of our community who have recently passed, Cynthia Campana and Deputy Michael Cooper. Cynthia Campana, a dedicated and passionate member of our Community Development Department, worked tirelessly to better the lives of all in Lancaster. Her warmth, kindness, and unwavering commitment to public service made her a treasured colleague and a friend to many. Cynthia's passing is not just a loss for her family, not just a loss for our community, but for every one of us in the city who worked with her. She was a light. Whenever she took that microphone and spoke, it was different. She just had a passion for the city. You saw tonight that sometimes there wouldn't be any speaker cards, and so I'd waive the staff reading. I did not waive her staff readings simply because I enjoyed her so much when she presented. We also remember Deputy Michael Cooper, a celebrated city liaison deputy and a military veteran who was honored with the key to the city for his extraordinary service. Deputy Cooper's dedication to Lancaster and its citizens exemplified the highest ideals of public service. His passing is a profound loss, and he leaves behind a legacy of honor and commitment that will continue to inspire us. As we adjourn this council meeting, let us do so in memory of Cynthia and Deputy Cooper, carrying forward their dedication and spirit in our ongoing service to this city. Our thoughts and heartfelt condolences go out to their families, friends, and all who knew them. We are praying for them. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 9, 2024 at 5 p.m. The meeting is adjourned.